I'm a mother of 2 girls, little girl Lily and Monica 21. Monica has a boyfriend 20 who visits with her often. Frankly, he's not too polite, or to rephrase, he lacks social skills and always ends up doing things that can be annoying, whether intentional or not. It's been affecting Lily, and there had been instances where he ruined Lily's math project and ruined her camera by dropping it. Because of his increasingly reckless behavior, I've set some basic rules and asked him to follow, like not touching anything that belongs to Lily. Monica disapproved and said I was treating her boyfriend like a child and asked me to treat him like it's his own home, but I made it clear that he comes over as a guest and should be behaving as such, not running around the house causing damage. A few days ago was Lily's birthday. My sister picked up the cake from the bakery store that we pre-ordered and I kept it in the refrigerator until we finished preparations. We were upstairs while Monica's boyfriend was in the living room. I went downstairs and into the kitchen to get the cake. I opened the refrigerator and saw that someone cut and took a piece of the birthday cake. I was infuriated. I figured it was Monica's boyfriend. I went to ask him and he said it was him. I screamed at him and he said he was sorry but was hungry. I told him that was my daughter's birthday cake, and I asked if there was literally nothing he could have eaten, and he said yes, there was, but really just wanted a piece of that cake because he couldn't wait till the party started. I kept screaming at him that he ruined the entire party. Now Lily won't even want to blow the candles when the cake looked like that. He got defensive and said that it didn't matter if he ate it before Lily blew the candles and that all those birthday party rules are lame and people should just eat the freaking cake once it arrives. He also said that it wasn't like he ate the whole thing. I lost it and told him to get out of my house. He kept calling out for Monica to come downstairs and deal with me. Monica yelled at him and thought that was it, saying what he did didn't warrant me kicking him out, but I insisted he leave immediately. She begged me to let it go, but I said not a chance. They both left after they argued with me and got my sister involved. We had to delay the celebration for 2 hours to get another cake, unlike the previous one, which wasn't customized. Monica has been angry with me for how I treated her boyfriend and kicking him out on Lily's birthday, and said that Lily wouldn't have minded, but I was disrespecting her boyfriend and looking for excuses to keep him out of the house. Also said I caused them to miss the party. She wanted me to call him and apologize, but I refused. Was I the idiot here? Not the idiot. Was he high or something? Because I can't think of any other reason why an adult would eat a child's birthday cake before the party due to hunger, besides being a giant idiot, of course. I'd ban him from my house entirely under threat of trespassing charges. I'd also tell Monica that if she has a problem with it, she can move in with him. The whole yelling for Monica to come deal with the owner of the home is just next level crazy. If she doesn't keep him out, it sets a bad example for Lily's feelings and a precedent that the guy can be an idiot and will be able to come back no matter what. This is a deal breaker for me. He would be persona non grata at my home. I wonder if the boyfriend would try that if a father was present in the household. People like him just love to step on boundaries, especially in an all-women setting. I've seen it with people like the boyfriend, but they act accordingly when another male comes into play. Ban this guy, file a restraining order if he tries to come back after the ban, tell the older daughter she can follow suit, protect the child of the family. Not the idiot. I have no idea what is wrong with this young man, but he should never be allowed in your home again. He's far too old for this behavior. He knew what he did was wrong, but he proceeded to make ridiculous excuses. Birthday party rules may be lame to him, but he doesn't get to make the rules in someone else's home for someone else's birthday. The fact that your daughter not only accepts this behavior but defends it is troubling. Saying that you're disrespecting her boyfriend when he has no respect for anyone but himself is just dumbfounding. When you told him to leave and he refused and called your daughter to deal with you in your own home, that would have sent me into orbit. I think he might be trying to get banned to get Monica to be more distant from OP. His I do what I want approach sounds potentially abusive, and apparently Monica already thinks it's okay for him to mess with whoever's stuff he wants. My best friend Katie, 26, and I, female 26, plan to go on vacation to an island in our country with 2 other girls this summer. Since we didn't get to go anywhere last summer due to the global issue and now all of us are vaccinated, we were super excited. Nothing was booked, we were just planning. The other 2 girls told us today that they can't make it after all. Katie suggested that we go without them. The issue is that I recently got out of a very long and toxic relationship, and I finally feel happy and full of life, and I, please don't judge, want to have a hot girl summer. I'd like to meet guys and have fun. But if it's going to be just the two of us, I can't do it. We discussed it and she said that she doesn't want to be alone, stay in the room or go around the island without me. The reason she doesn't want to stay alone is not safety. She's an influencer and doesn't want to be seen alone and ruin her image. She was very clear. I have to be with her at all times. She has a boyfriend, so double dates or even going out with a group of guys is not an option. I think it would be rude of me to abandon her in the room, but I also don't want to go on vacation and behave like I'm in a relationship. I've done that for years. I feel the need to have a wild summer. I suggested that we don't go anywhere and book a trip abroad this fall instead. I can go on a summer vacation with my other friends who are all single. I told her she can join us if she likes, but she called me a witch who prioritizes random men over her. She texted me like 5 times to tell me how promiscuous I am, and I honestly don't recognize her. Of course, she has every right to be mad at me, but shaming me is not okay. She also texted the other girls who were supposed to come with us to tell them how lucky they are they're not coming because I'd leave them alone to meet with dudes. I feel very hurt, but I can see why she's mad at me. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. I may be jumping to conclusions here, but she sounds clingy and, in a relationship or not, being alone with her might have been taxing anyway. If she were just hurt by the cancellation, I would say no idiots here. But the fact she's shaming you is disgusting. You're free and single. Go hop on some dudes. She said she doesn't want to be seen alone because she has a big following on Instagram and is afraid of getting recognized and people thinking she's a loner. That's the dumbest thing I've heard yet today. Translated, you may not go on a hot girl summer because you are her Instagram boyfriend. She is so angry because she basically ran her content calendar, possibly lined up deals to coordinate with it, and how dare her unpaid, unsuspected employee insist on having a holiday instead of being her photographer, scene setting, and worshipper. You just exposed that she intended to milk you as her 24/7 social media assistant, and she has fired the overreaction of the woman shaming to stop you copping on at this stage. This is 100% what's going on here. I bet your friends that dropped out already figured this out too. You enjoy your hot girl summer, OP, on your own terms. You are not the idiot, OP. She's internet famous. She doesn't want to be seen alone. Dear God, I was thinking she had anxiety or something and slightly sympathizing with her. But she has the nerve to say you're prioritizing dudes over her. She's prioritizing her Instagram over you. Screw that, she sounds like a terrible friend. She's trying to manipulate you by lowering your self-esteem so that you can do the vacation her way. She's low. I, 27 female, got engaged around a month ago to my lovely boyfriend, 28, of 6 years. My fiancé works in the tech industry and makes a very good amount. For our engagement, my fiancé ended up picking probably the most perfect ring for me. It was very expensive, but he refused to tell me the exact price and just said it was upwards of $40,000. We plan on holding an engagement party with our closest friends at a lake house next weekend. I've already sent out the invites to my inner circle and all of them have RSVP'd saying they could make it, including the friend in question, Amy. Amy and I met at my work and have been close friends for about 4 years. However, she's definitely my most complicated friendship. Amy, 25, is a young single mom and has struggled financially. I have offered a lot of financial support to her throughout the years, such as paying for her meals and trips, paying for her daughter's school trips and gifts, purchasing home goods for them, etc. Last weekend, Amy and I went to brunch and she asked to see my ring. She immediately asked me how much she paid for it and I refused to tell her the amount, just stating that it was probably pretty expensive. Then she said, "It looks like it's at least $50,000. Don't you think it's kind of horrible to spend that much on a ring when a fifth of that money could have pulled a family out of poverty?" I was frankly shocked when she made that comment. I'm a firm believer that you should never tell someone how to spend their money, especially if they're a close friend who's trying to share a happy moment with you. I tried lightening up the situation, but then she pushed further and said, "But seriously though, he could have donated half of that to a nice charity and probably saved many lives." Wow, rich people really surprise me sometimes. After reflecting on the situation, I decided I wasn't comfortable with Amy coming to the engagement party anymore. It takes me a while to get over rude comments like hers, and I just didn't want any tension or unresolved anger at our celebration. I shot her a text explaining how her comments were upsetting to me and how her words were not only demeaning but disrespectful. As a result, I told her that I would no longer feel comfortable having her attend my engagement party. I told her I hope we can talk through this issue more, but that my decision regarding the party was final. She responded shortly after apologizing for the comment and said she didn't know it would affect me that much. She promised she'd be better about it. She asked me to reconsider the party because she's already bought an outfit and hired a babysitter and was looking forward to celebrating with me. She also added that if I was going to uninvite her from the party over such a small thing, she'd misjudged my character. I'll admit I can be a pushover sometimes. I did immediately feel bad after her message. I talked with my fiancé about this, and he supported my decision entirely, but I can't help but feel like I was too harsh. Was I the idiot here after all? Not the idiot. She bought an outfit just for a party. Doesn't she know she could have donated that money to a homeless person and bought them food for a week? I second this. I myself am a single mom with a slew of ill-advised marriages under my belt, and I will admit I've been jealous of other friends having good men and all the trimmings I want. Having said that, I would never say something so gold-darn tacky to any of them. I smile and congratulate them genuinely and sincerely, and then try to renew my faith that at some point I will also get my happy ending. Not the idiot. She was rude and tacky. Random aside, maybe I'm the weird one because I don't pay much attention to jewellery, but is it normal for someone not skilled in the field to be able to look at a ring and say, that must have been over 50,000? That screams someone obsessed with luxury items but can't afford them. I can write a lecture about everything wrong with the wedding industry, but there are places I wouldn't bring it up. A friend who just got their engagement ring is probably not a place to discuss the moralities of how much it cost. Even if Amy had a point, she was incredibly disrespectful about it. I don't think you would be wrong regardless if you gave her another chance or stick to uninviting her, because it's your engagement party, not the idiot. Amy's comment was meant to provoke a reaction in OP. She just didn't get the reaction she wanted. This is a friend who accepts financial help from OP constantly. Her comment was meant to allude to the fact that spending $50,000 on a ring means OP, and future spouse, has less money to charitably give to Amy. It was meant to shine a light on the fact that Amy doesn't think it's right for her friend to have nice things because OP's spare money should go to helping her. Friends like this don't stop. They take and take. Once you finally put your foot down, they find a way to make you the bad guy. Not the idiot. Considering that she's made jabs like this in the past, I would just call this final jab the straw that broke the camel's back. So my city is going through a weird green initiative, and that means they want to slowly phase out the use of plastic straws and force restaurants to make the shift, so most fast food places will give you a paper straw. So I opted just to order a box of individually wrapped plastic straws so I can leave them in my car whenever they're needed. To be clear, I still recycle. It's not like I'm throwing it out in the trash bin or littering. This is just something I did for my own selfish reasons. The reason being, I hate paper straws. The other day I was driving with my friend, roommate 25 male, and his new girlfriend 26. I had to pick her up since he doesn't drive and she doesn't have a car. She has issues sitting in the back seats of cars, so she sat in the passenger seat. We pulled through a Tim Hortons, a coffee shop in Canada, and ordered iced cappuccinos, since it was a hot day by Canadian standards. After ordering and sitting in line to get to the window to pay and pick up, I asked her to open the glove box and toss me one of the straws in there. She briefly gave me a confused face, but still did it. We got our drinks. She started going off about how I don't care about the environment and I'm a baby for simply just using plastic straws. I mostly ignored her since I was driving. At one point, while stopped at a red light, she rolls down the window, opens the glove box, grabs the box of straws, and just hucks it out of the window. I looked at her like, what? If she cared so much about the environment, isn't this directly going against that? I told her to get out and pick them all up since, 1, I don't appreciate that she tossed my belongings, and 2, she literally littered, and that's just not cool. She said no, so I pulled into the closest parking lot. My friend started begging me not to make it a thing, and I told her either she picks them up, or he can, or I will, but they'll both have to get out of my car and walk. I don't care. He turned to his girlfriend and asked her to pick them up. She again refused, so he just got out of the car, picked up the box and got back into the car. Luckily, the box didn't break open. I turned around and started driving towards the girlfriend's apartment. They asked what I was doing, and I said she's no longer welcome at our place. The ground rules when moving in together was that both of us had to be cool with the guest, otherwise no dice, and this was disrespectful. They were going to chill at our apartment. Later, my friend got back, apologized for his girlfriend's behavior, and called me an idiot for banning her. To me, I didn't like the disrespect and will stay firm in not wanting her around. Am I the idiot? Geez, that's such unhinged behavior and entirely counterproductive for her point. You don't care about the environment. Throws box of straws out onto the ground. Not the idiot for your reaction to this. I'd be so offended, especially after being the one who's picking them up and driving them. Not the idiot. Wait, she's worried about the environment but is okay with being driven around in a car that causes more harm to the environment than a truckload of straws? What a psychotic reaction. Someone who is supposedly so concerned about the environment that they have this much vitriol for plastic straws is a massive hypocrite if they throw that box of straws out the window as she did here. The straws are already purchased as it is, so the plastic has already been wasted, so to speak. Girl essentially stole from you and tried to destroy your property. Screw that. Regardless of your opinion on plastic waste, that's way beyond an appropriate response. And about banning the girlfriend, after literally making you the victim of a crime, I'd at least want an apology from her for letting her into my house again. Not the idiot. My husband, 36, and I, female 34, have different last names, Kelly Smith and John Jones. We live in an area where it's uncommon for women to keep their maiden names. I prefer to be called Ms. Smith. My general rule is that I won't correct anyone who I will not see again or with who I will only be acquainted for a short time. For example, if I'm checking into a hotel and the front desk person calls me Mrs. Jones, I don't correct it. Some people in my life continue to call me Mrs. Jones or Mrs. Smith, despite my polite corrections to Miss Smith. I've corrected my child's teacher so many times, but she never gets it right. To me, this is a respect thing. Everyone should be referred to with the correct name, even if I'm going against tradition in a small town. Men don't change their title to signify marital status, so why should women, unless they want to? It's always been my preference to be called Miss. My husband says he understands how I feel, but at a certain point I just need to drop it if someone continues to call me the wrong name, especially if they're only mixing up Miss and Mrs. He says that I'm turning into the annoying one in the social interaction. I disagree. I don't make a fuss, but I will continue to correct people, and I think the person who won't call me by the correct name is the annoying one. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You can expect people to use your actual name. Duh. Maybe only give some leniency to the teacher. 99% of their interactions are with your child and they're simply likely to default to the child's surname in interactions with parents. Mrs. Jones is my husband's mother, or what? He's got another wife? I'm genuinely surprised at how many people don't understand this. Your name is your name, including the form of address. It is in no way an idiot move for OP to be called by her actual name, including the Miss. I would keep correcting, and because I'm petty, if the repeat offenders keep getting it wrong, I'd start addressing them incorrectly. If a person can't be asked to respect her name, why should she respect theirs? Not the idiot, but expect to be let down. There are some things you won't have control over. You're exercising your power and right by correcting people, but it seems to not work very well. Also, if someone finds you annoying, you don't get to decide that you aren't annoying. If your husband finds that people are annoyed, then that's their truthful, valid experience of being corrected. You can feel it's undeserved.